Hey everyone, Tulok here. This is a re-upload of a video that got posted a couple weeks ago, but got blocked because of copyright stuff. So that's why the background footage is Elden Ring instead of the movie Promare. Basically, we just did a whole Elden Ring run to get background footage, so also please go watch that video on Tulok and Mango, and just subscribe to Tulok and Mango in general and watch those videos anyway. They don't have to deal with copyright stuff because it's just Let's Play content, so that doesn't get copyright claimed a lot. Okay, enjoy the rest of the video, bye! Welcome back to Building Character, where we figure out how to play as your favorite fictional characters in Dungeons & Dragons. Join the Patreon for this character sheet and a whole bunch more, and like and subscribe for more kabooms next time you play. Maybe. Today we're building Lio Fotia, the firefighter from Promare, as in a person who fights with fire, not a person who fights fires. Although at the end of the movie this is a firefighter firing fire, fighting fire with another firefighter. Here come the hot stepper. I'm the lyrical gangster. Let's start off with our goals for this build. First, some like it hot. Let's get it hot. Next, we need to move around the city, maybe with big old rocket jumps, or maybe with a flaming motorcycle. Johnny Blaze who. Finally, we need some ashen resilience. A little bit of regeneration never hurt anyone. It literally does the opposite. For stats, we're using the standard point array from the player's handbook. Roll for stats if you want, just keep your multi-classing minimums in mind. Charisma will be number 1. Lio is the leader of the bunch. They know him well, and he's here to burn hotter than hell. Dexterity next, gotta move fast if you're dodging firefighters. They can drive as fast as they want. Strength after that, despite all the literal firepower, Lio is still a phenomenal athlete. Follow that with Constitution. Most cold spells are Constitution saving throws, so this should keep you burning. Intelligence is a bit low. Your plans aren't all that complicated. You're just a kid after all, and we'll dump Wisdom. Every time Lio gets beaten, it's by hold person. He does avoid it several times though. I wish I just didn't have to be bad at any saving throws. Lio is a Burnish, which is a human. The movie says it several times. Burnish are humans that have some dormant gene that connects them to the Promare, so that's just a sorcerer or a warlock. You don't know, watch the video. Anyway, the resilient feat for dexterity will give you +1 to the score and proficiency with the saving throw. It would be a bit embarrassing if the Fireboy failed a saving throw against Fireball. Bump your dexterity and charisma with your 2 free points, take deception for your skill of choice to bluff your way behind enemy lines, and take the athlete background for athletics and acrobatic skills. Now you can be physical, even though our starting class will not be very physical. That starting class is sorcerer. I considered celestial warlock, but that doesn't get dragon spells because Wizards of the Coast does not want warlocks to be dragony. Grab persuasion and intimidation for your sorcerer skills and choose the draconic bloodline for your origin. It can be fiery if you choose a fiery dragon. We're not going pyromancy because I don't want to use plane shift stuff anymore. I did before, now I'm not. I know it exists. Yay! Draconic bloodline sorcerers get draconic resilience for AC equal to 13 plus your dexterity modifier and 1 extra HP for every level you have in this class. More Lio stuff comes in later. But for Lio stuff now, let's grab cantrips and spells like Firebolt, which fires a ranged spell attack that deals 1d10 fire damage. It's pretty straightforward. Create Bonfire forces a dexterity saving throw on a creature in a 5-foot cube, dealing a d8 of fire damage if you'd rather make a little AoE. I would imagine the big mech suits of the firefighters have high AC. This could be more accurate against them than Firebolt. Control Flames lets you make some fun flavor stuff with fire, changing its shape, color, or moving it around. Dancing Lights makes a bunch of small dim lights so you can see in the dark with your bad human eyes. For first level spells, Burning Hands forces a dexterity saving throw on creatures in a 15-foot cone, dealing 3d6 fire damage to those that fail, half as much to those that succeed. That's enough fire for now, so grab Jump to triple your jump distance and bound around the city, and maybe even outrun a mech. Second level sorcerers get a Font of Magic with sorcery points you can use to recover spell slots at this point and do more interesting stuff with next level. For this level, Spell Shield adds 5 to your AC as a reaction for a little fire shield, but not a literal fire shield. That's a thing that happens later. Third level sorcerers can get Meta Magic, letting you spend your sorcery points to augment your spells. Heightened Spell lets you give a creature disadvantage on saving throws against a spell you cast, and Empowered Spell lets you reroll a number of damage die equal to your charisma modifier, either of which will make your fire hotter. If you want it to be hot, sometimes it isn't. You can also learn second level spells like Scorching Ray, which fires 3 spell attacks that deal 2d6 fire damage each. You could fire them at one firefighter or multiple fires fighter, in case they're working as a team, you know. Fourth level sorcerers get an ability score improvement or feat. Let's start by investing in charisma, since that'll turn up the heat for you. For this level spell, Flaming Sphere forces a dexterity saving throw on creatures within 5 feet of a sphere of fire, dealing 2d6 fire damage to those that fail, half as much to those that succeed. You can even steer it with a bonus action and ram it into people on following turns, which is great since you don't have another concentration spell at this point. 5th level sorcerers can learn 3rd level spells. There is a concentration option I'll take next level, but we gotta get Fireball for now. You know that one, right? Forces a dexterity saving throw on creatures in a 20-foot radius sphere, dealing 8d6 fire damage to those that fail, half as much to those that succeed. It's a really important spell for a Fireboy. 6th level draconic sorcerers get Elemental Affinity, letting you add your charisma modifier to the damage roll of one fire spell you cast, cast, and spend a sorcery point to give yourself resistance to fire damage for an hour after you cast a spell that deals that damage type. It would be a little awkward if you burned yourself up. For this level spell, a Chardalon Stride adds 20 feet to your movement speed, you don't provoke opportunity attacks, and you deal a d6 of fire damage per turn to creatures when you move within 5 feet of them. Now, if only we could put that on a motorcycle. To put that on a motorcycle, we'll jump over to Paladin. Paladins don't get a motorcycle at level 1, instead they get Lay on Hands, which lets you heal a creature from a pool of HP equal to 5 times your Paladin level as an action. It won't work if the burnish you're trying to heal has already rolled all their death saving throws, but just use it preemptively, obviously. You also get Divine Sense to detect Celestials, Fiends, and Undead. I'd probably consider the Promare Celestials. Maybe even the Gov is a burnish. Who knows? Spoilers for the movie, I guess, but it's only one movie, so, you've probably seen it if you're watching this video. If not, go see it, it's very good. Second level Paladins get a fighting style. Dueling will add 2 to the damage rolls of attacks you make with a weapon one-handed, so now you can sword fight. Everyone loves a good sword fight. You can also learn Paladin spells like Cure Wounds, healing 1d8 plus your Charisma modifier to a creature you touch for another option of Burnish Recovery. Searing Smite adds a d6 of extra fire damage to your next weapon attack and forces a Constitution saving throw on the creature on the following turns, dealing a d6 of fire damage until they can put it out, or until they put it out with their action. If you're just looking for raw damage, you can make a Divine Smite by spending a spell slot to add 2d8 radiant damage to a weapon attack, plus another d8 of radiant damage per spell level you spend. Now, not all of your fire is hot, some of it is radiant. Third level Paladins can choose a Sacred Oath. Glory Paladins get another way to make radiant fire with Guiding Bolt, a spell that fires a ranged spell attack that deals 4d6 radiant damage on hit and gives the next person attacking that target advantage on their roll. You can also channel Divinity or the Promare in one of 2 ways, once per short rest. Peerless Athlete gives you advantage on athletics and acrobatics checks to look cooler and do radder backflips, and Inspiring Smite lets you get Guerra and Maze going, letting you distribute 2d8 plus your Paladin level in temporary HP after you land a Divine Smite. 4th level Paladins get another ability score improvement, cap off your Charisma modifier for better fire and better leadership in a little bit. But first, 5th level Paladins get extra attack, letting you make 2 attacks with your action instead of 1. Since you can smite with both of those attacks, and multi-classing spellcasters will just give you a bunch of higher level slots, go nuts and unload 2 5d8 smites in the same turn. It actually makes weapon attacks worth it, even when you have cantrips. But the best part of this level is the 2nd level Paladin spells, like Find Steed, summoning a warhorse, camel, pony, elk, or mastiff that hangs out for 10 minutes. It doesn't require your concentration, and any spell that's cast to target just you can also affect the mount. That means you can summon any mount you like, then a Chardalon Stride for a faster fire mount. It's not technically a motorcycle, but it's a mount, and you can light it on fire. Hell yes! 6th level Paladins get Aura of Protection, letting creatures within 10 feet of you add your Charisma modifier to their saving throws. You're always within 10 feet of yourself, so now your minimum saving throw is Wisdom at +4. That's really good. It also makes you a great engine for a mech being piloted by your himbo rival, since it'll just have better saving throws. There ain't mechs in D&D. There should be, maybe there will be in Spelljammer, but this script was written before that came out. I just want to get ahead of that before this video comes out and then Spelljammer comes out and says, oh, now there's mechs, and then everyone's like, hey, why didn't you do that? And they don't just check the date on the video. Whoa. 7th level Glory Paladins get Aura of Alacrity, adding 10 feet to your movement speed and to all friendly creatures who start their turn within 5 feet of you. It just makes you even more speedy. With a Chardalon Stride up, that's 60 feet of base movement speed, or if you have a warhorse, that's 90 feet. Vroom vroom. Back over to Sorcerer now. 7th level Sorcerers can learn 4th level spells. Fire Shield makes a hot or cold shield, giving you resistance to fire or cold damage. When a creature hits you with a melee attack, they take 2d8 fire or cold damage. Choose the Warm Shield for character reasons, or don't. Choose the other one. I don't care. And also note that it applies to any steed you've summoned as well. It's also not concentration, so you can still have a Chardalon Stride up as well too. Just get a whole suite of buffs going. 8th level Sorcerers get another ability score improvement. Start working on your dexterity for more AC and better sword skills. For this level spell, dip back to the 3rd level for protection from energy, giving a creature of your choice resistance to acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage. Lasts for an hour, and unlike your elemental affinity, it can be given to Gallo if you like, but it requires concentration, so it would slow you down. 9th level Sorcerers can learn 5th level spells. Summon Draconic Spirit summons a dragon that's large. You control it with your bonus action, and it has a breath weapon. Stats are in Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. It's kind of long, but check it out if you want to burn down a whole dang city. 10th level Sorcerers get another meta magic option. Careful Spell lets a number of creatures equal to your Charisma modifier automatically save from spells you cast. Launch a fireball into a crowd, then just make sure it doesn't hit your buddies. Or you could just cast Immolation, which is a fireball for one person. Forces a dexterity saving throw on a creature. Failing that, they take 8d6 fire damage. They then take another 4d6 fire damage every round until they can pass the saving throw. If it drops them into 0, they turn to ash. Just remember, Burnish don't kill people unprovoked. 11th level Sorcerers can learn 6th level spells. Investiture of Flame is a higher damage, lower mobility version of a Chardalon Stride. Stride. Makes you immune to fire damage, resistant to cold damage. Creatures that move within 5 feet of you take 1d10 fire damage, and you can make a 15-foot cone of fire that forces a dexterity saving throw on creatures inside, dealing 4d8 damage on a failed save, half as much on a successful one. And it would also apply to your steed if you have found steed up. I know he only does the fire motorcycle in one scene, but it's a fire motorcycle. I'm gonna fixate on that. 12th level sorcerers get another ability score improvement. Cap off your dexterity to avoid getting hit as much as possible and slash baddies up with your sword better. Our capstone is the 13th level of sorcerer for 7th level spells like Draconic Transformation, giving you 30 feet of blind sight, 60 feet of flying speed, and a breath weapon that forces a dexterity saving throw on creatures in a 60-foot cone, dealing 6d8 force damage to those that fail, half as much to those that succeed. Also, those all apply to a mount as well. Technically, that's not a fire motorcycle, but technically, the Promare aren't fire, so it's fine. Now that we've hit level 20, let's figure out how viable this build is. First, you're very good at saving throws. Strength is +6, dexterity is 16, constitution is 12, intelligence is 5, wisdom is 4, and charisma is 16. That's pretty much no fails allowed. You're also really fast with extra speed from Aura of Alacrity, mounts, speed boosting spells, and flying spells if you want them. Finally, you can burn it down. Let's do a little bit of math. Dropping an 8th level of Chardalon Stride will deal 6d6 fire damage with no saving throw or attack roll. That's your movement action. Then you can make 2 attacks with a 5d8 smite on each of them for 10d8 radiant damage, plus the damage of the weapon, which I'll call a scimitar, I guess, for 2d6 plus 14. That's a big old kaboom of damage. Not to mention, you've got 60 feet of movement speed and don't provoke opportunity attacks, so you can just blast in and out of the fight without having to take a hit. For weaknesses, you're pretty dependent on fire damage. No, you actually have radiant, slashing, and force also in your arsenal. Your healing is only touch range, so I guess you have to run over to people to heal them. And your passive perception is bad. Yeah, that's bad. People are gonna sneak up on you. But shocker, this build is super solid. Mixing paladin and sorcerer is always fun, and doing it to make a badass fire motorcycle is even more fun. If the status quo is bad, burn it down and fight fire with a firefighter fighting with fire. Just make sure you're planning ahead. It would be bad if you were lacking foresight. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe for more. We make 2 videos every week. Join the Patreon for this character sheet and a whole bunch more, and sub to Tulok and Mango for more Tulok fun.